always, Debarati is welcoming you all once on behalf of CK Birla Hospitals, CMRI. Well, in today's world, we observe that urinary disease is becoming a major problem in our day to day life. And sometimes we even feel very much shy and ignore those problems. But today, we are here to address those problems and to clear up those misunderstandings regarding the problems at the right time. And to talk about that, it's a great pleasure to have with me right now the man who has been instrumental in establishing the urology department in CMRI Hospital, none other than the eminent senior consultant urologist, Dr. B.R. Kundu over here. So,
Hello.
sir, welcome to
Hello,
this
good afternoon. Good afternoon,
session.
everybody. Yes.
And really, it's our great honor
Thank you. Thank
that
you.
you have given your valuable time to us.
Thank you for the
So,
kind words.
sir has 30 years of experience in urology, this particular platform. So, now sir is here. Sir is going to talk about the modern approach to urinary obstruction and the uses of laser surgery. So, without wasting any more time, I would request sir to take us through the session and enlighten on the subject. So, sir, I would like to know from you at the first that what is urinary obstruction?
Very simply put, urinary obstruction is, as the name implies, a difficulty or failure to void, simply. You
Okay.
can't empty your bladder, you can't pass urine as you would normally do or have done in the past years. Suddenly, you find in a situation where you can't empty the bladder, there's a whole lot of symptoms and uncomfortedness around the evolving problem. That is what is urinary obstruction.
So, sir, how to address this problem? Like when we should understand that this is a problem and I should consult with a doctor.
Uh, Very luckily for us and the patient, this situation is such that you do not have to uh, headhunt or witch hunt obstruction. You will realize the moment it's there. Failure to void will prompt immediate action from your end because you feel very uncomfortable. If your bladder is full, you can't empty the bladder. You are extremely uncomfortable. That becomes a medical emergency, and you need to rush to the hospital. Oftentimes, patients, usually elderly patients, have rushed to the hospital to empty their bladders. Obstruction can, however, be inside the system, like it can affect the kidneys on one side, and you would not know, and there will be pain and very dull, masquerading symptoms which you would not be able to understand, but you will feel definitely unwell. But let us concentrate on the general obstruction, that is
Yeah.
obstruction to the bladder, which is the more common one.
Mhm.
You would initially, most patients report as a difficulty over a few weeks or months, which culminates in sudden stoppage of urine. And if the urine stops, the bladder gets full and you are extremely painful and you feel extremely uncomfortable. And usually, as I said, you rush to the emergency or seek a medical help at that point. So this is what is urinary obstruction.
So, sir, the symptoms are same for the male and female both.
They are. The symptomatology would be the same. Failure to void will prompt similar kind of symptoms. The bladder is full, you feel extremely uncomfortable, there is no passage of urine or very minimal passage of urine, and you feel that there is something retained inside and you can't empty it. That is a feeling that is universally acknowledged by patients. There is nothing hidden about it.
Can it be cause for some other problems also,
There are
diseases?
whole lots of reason for this situation. That is different, and they are different for male and female. By and large, male obstructions are always serious and always prompts immediate action. The more common and well-known enlarged prostate is known to everybody. Virtually everybody in the general public, the lay people also know that with age, prostate enlarges
Yeah.
and there is a blockage. But there are a host of other conditions. For example, a 25-year-old coming with a similar symptoms, you'd be totally bewildered as to what has caused my blockage. But you are blocked, and the reason could be a stone, which has silently passed through the kidney and has blocked the passage, outlet passage, and you are in retention. It could be the result of a stricture, which is a narrowing in the urinary pipe, and that has also happened over years, and you have now realized, or you sort of sat over it, and then gradually the blockage becomes severe and completely blocks the passage. So
So,
by and large, if you summarize the reasons in male, prostate remains the number you know, as the most common cause of male urinary obstruction.
Yes, yes.
Second would be urethral strictures, stones, and lastly, tumors and atypical, unnatural things, external pressure, tumor, malignancy, or even infection. Severely infected urethra, here the failure of void is because of pain. There is inflammation, there is swelling, there is pain, and you get blocked off. Similar situations are as in prostate abscesses, infection of the prostate gland, which happens in younger adults, like in their 20s or 30s. But again, as I say, by and large, the elderly people suffer from prostatic disease. The well known benign prostatic disease, and now the more common malignant prostatic disease,
Okay.
whichever. That we have to work up and find out what is the actual etiology, what is the reason behind the blockage.
Okay. So, sir, you are talking about a kidney stone.
Renal stones can cause rarely urethral obstruction because oftentimes a young adult in their 20s or 30s come with a sudden blockage. They have barely had a history of a loin pain or a back pain, say 2, 3 weeks ago. That was the onset of the stone disease, which was migrating from the kidney. The stone has migrated and has blocked. This is not extremely uncommon, but it happens. But they
Okay.
are not the prime causes of blockage in the urethra. The
Okay.
prime causes remains the prostate. Yes.
Sir, how leisure is important in this case? I think in surgical part, laser is so much popular nowadays. Why so,
I
sir?
Yes, because the use of laser came around in this eastern part of India. We were one of the first to introduce laser in eastern India in CMRI.
Yes.
But laser helps us in treating stone disease. We can crack stones. Laser are wonderful for disintegrating stones. They can be powdered by laser and can be done bloodlessly through instruments. And you can also enucleate prostate glands, and that is also virtually bloodless and extremely useful procedure. This is one of the many armaments that we use for prostate. Prostate disease has been hounded for last few centuries. People tried every known trick possible to undo the effects of prostate, like from time immemorial when surgery was not developed. People used to punch it, burn it, scar it, balloon dilate it. All sorts of things have been experimented in prostate, and everything virtually. Some stood the test of time for a while. They changed with more modern approaches, and then came the usual well-known microsurgery of the prostate, which is TURP, which remained
Yes.
for nearly 7, 8 decades. It came to the scientific forum in the 1930s. Previously, the open prostatectomy by millions was very popular, and then it gave way to the micro approach, which obviously people chose because there was no cuts, no bruises, and people recovered earlier, quicker, blood loss was less. So TURP remained the gold standard for many, many decades, and then a lot of other things came: the microwave, the tuna, the laser went through various degrees of modification, and now we have got the thulium and the holmium laser, both of which
Yes.
we have,
Mhm.
and they are extremely useful tools to enucleate the gland as a whole. Now, what we do is we find a plane between the outer coat or the shirt, as you call it, and you enucleate the main adenoma or the offending agent as a ball, and you just remove it and then suck it out with a machine called morcellator. Extremely useful procedure. Bloodless patients goes on 2 3 days, and any size of the prostate gland you can now tackle with a laser.
So
But as I
you,
said, there are other methods. There are other
okay,
methods, not
so
small.
sir, you were talking that you have seen a lot as you are here in our hospital from the, from the inception. So it's our 51 years of legacy hospital. Sir, why don't you share your experience with us apart from the main
Well,
subject? I would
if
like to hear from you, sir.
if you look at when I started in '97, we used to do TURPs. That was the in thing at that time, and then gradually we changed to the various other forms of laser incisions and other therapies, which came and went. In 2007, we started the laser unit with a thulium laser for the prostate and a holmium for the. We had a twin laser approach. Holmium was used for the stone, and thulium for the prostate. And well, it was very popular. I did national workshops, quite a few, about 4 or 5, under the auspices of our society, Urological Society, and it took off in a big way. Thulium laser was used very useful, good technique, easy to learn. We got Andreas Gross from Hamburg, Germany. He came up, and we had a live national conference here in CMRI. But alongside came holmium laser, which developed time and well to various modifications. And Holmium also showed very promising results. So we acquired a Holmium. And now we
Okay.
do all our prostates divided between thulium and holmium. But thulium is more preferred because it is for prostate is the in thing. We
Okay.
use the holmium laser, the other type, for stones, all kinds of stones, kidney, ureter, whatever.
Okay, so coming to our point again on our topic, that what are the reasons of this urinary obstructions, sir?
You have as the prime, see, if I cloud you with a lot of reasons, then you take home nothing. The commonest is prostatic obstruction, and by prostate I mean a benign prostatic obstruction, which is about 70% of the cases. What used to be 10% has now become 30 or maybe 40% malignant prostate. This is a cancer prostate. It is a whole domain of pathologies, starting from a very early disease, locally advanced disease, and a metastatic disease. Now, it can present
Okay,
in any of these windows. If
okay,
you present early and we detect early, then there is a cure for it. It is called a radical prostate, which can be now done open or laparoscopic and even the robotic, where we remove the whole of the prostate gland. This is
okay,
quite different from the laser surgery that I was alluding to. Laser
okay,
surgery is done through the lumen, through the urethra, and from inside. It was done. It is essentially done for a benign prostate disease. But if you have a malignant disease, as appreciated by workup like raised PSA and biopsies and all that, then you get a open or a laparoscopic radical prostatectomy, which almost cures you.
okay.
However, many patients come later and they come
Mm,
at a metastatic level where
mm,
they have got metastasis all over the
mm,
body.
mm,
And that
mm.
approach is different. And then you have to treat with hormone therapies and varieties of newer generation tablets, second or third generation hormonal manipulations, and even chemotherapies. So it's
Okay,
a whole different ball game treating cancer prostate. But if we concentrate on the laser, it is mainly done for the benign disease, and they're very common. And every household knows about prostate. Every if you look at and ask your grandmother, they will tell
yeah,
how their grandfather suffered from prostate
true,
disease,
very true.
and they had a catheter, and they had
Mm,
open surgery, or maybe a
mm.
TUR, or maybe if it is recent times, then a Holmium prostate.
Okay, sir. So, being a layman, I would like to know from you that what will be your advice to our viewers to, I don't know, it can be measured or it can be maintained by their daily routine or not. But if you would like to share some
What
tips
take
or,
home and what should they be looking out for? That's
yeah,
your question.
exactly.
See, very simply put, do not ignore urinary symptoms. If you have diminishing flow, you know there is a problem. Now, lots and lots of patients come to me knowing full well that there is a problem. They come very late in the day. They will wait till their urine has almost blocked
Mm,
off or has blocked off completely. If you ask these people, when did you start having this? They will say 6 months, and some of them will scratch their head and say 1 year. So they have been sitting on it. This is a crime. If you have urinary symptoms in this day and age, you should promptly get yourself checked because sometimes you may be sitting on a cancer. Sometimes you may
true.
have a condition which can be cured very easily,
Mm,
quickly.
mm,
And by delaying your approach and presentation,
mm,
you may have endangered your life.
true.
So, my first message is if you have a urinary symptoms which may manifest as a poor flow, failure to void, or urgency, like you have a desire to go and you can't wait any longer, you have to rush to the toilet, and sometimes you would probably pee on your clothes.
Mm,
Now,
mm,
that condition is serious and you need to
mm,
see a doctor. There could be other situations like you have very painful void. You're passing urine
mm,
extremely painfully,
mm,
or you're having to wait a long time, hesitancy. You're having to wait a long time to start the flow.
mm,
These are all variety of symptoms that
mm.
can present, and the doctor concerned will immediately take care of the situation, do the tests, and make a diagnosis and treat you. Now, in this day and age, not every patient is present to the OR. You don't have to have an operation on all cases. Vast majority of them gets cured by tablets. Now, this is possible over the last 2 decades. The tablets have developed and they have
Okay.
become better, and they can cure you most of the times. But to those who are not getting better or those who are very advanced, they need surgery. My advice to the people around is do not delay,
Mm,
do not masquerade and try to convince yourself that nothing has happened. And second, if you're on a tablet and things are not getting better, report. Report back to the doctor.
absolutely.
You need a change of track, change of methodology
Mm,
rather than sitting on it because it might complicate the matter.
mm,
Simple things like a prostate. can make your kidneys swell, and you can have a kidney disease, failing kidneys for no good reason. You could have easily prevented that. That is the message today. So what is immediately treatable can be made worse by just sitting on it and trying to be clever. You can't be clever with your body. That's number one message.
That's a really a great point to be noted. So, you all have heard that you should not neglect your problem. You should detect your problem at the early stage. And it can be cured, as Dr. B.R. Kundu is saying. It can be cured very easily. So, without neglecting your urinary disease related issues,
I would just add
yeah,
that as
sir,
a
please.
part of protocol, once you're 50, see, the prostate disease by and large affects men beyond 50, usually in their 60s, 70s. Lot of people tell me when they come to me eventually that, you're say, 70 plus years and they think that, my life is done. I'm going to die in another 1 or 2 years. Why should I get a treatment? Very wrong approach to life. If you are living, then you should live till the time you have dropped down dead. That's
Healthy living.
healthy living,
Healthy living does
because no
matters.
point making yourself ill, making your relatives and household people run
Yeah,
around
true,
for treatment, and then you do not get the benefit of the treatment because you're late. So
true,
rather than doing that, you get yourself checked. At
true.
50, at 50, one should have a primary baseline check,
Hmm.
and in that check, you should have ultrasound, Euroflow, and a PSA. A PSA test at baseline 50, and then every 2 years, unless you have symptoms.
So, you are suggesting that at our hospital there are several packages, health packages
There are
are
health packages
available,
which
so they
incorporates.
can avail that and detect if there is any problem or not. And sir,
Surely.
I would like to also like to know one thing. Hematuria is related to urinary disease only?
Definitely, yes. Bleeding in the urine is always very serious. But fortunately, I, as a doctor, you do not have to convince people. They come rushing because people are very scared of bleeding.
Okay,
So that
okay,
is one area that I don't have to emphasize too well. They will come naturally.
okay.
Bleeding doesn't necessarily mean sinister outlook. Bleeding is dangerous because it implies that there is something very, very nasty, usually tumor or cancer, but it can be caused by an infection, it can be caused by a stone. So things that are imminently treatable and you can be
Hmm.
better within a week or so.
Mhm.
But having said that, bleeding can also be a manifestation of cancer somewhere in the system, and therefore one must have a full, thorough workup, even if it is one drop of blood. Mind you, there is no significantly different approach to one drop of blood or one, say, huge bleeding, what if people call it. People sometimes say, I had a very small bleed and it disappeared.
Mhm.
Nothing disappears. If you have a bleed, that is a warning signal. Lot of people try to take drugs from their GP trying to stop the bleeding. It is like trying to get rid of the red signal. If you have a red signal on the traffic, it just says there's a danger ahead. Don't destroy the signal.
Point to be noted.
Don't destroy the signal. Rather than destroying the signal, try to find out the cause. So if you have a drop of blood or a microscopic hematuria, which is on the microscope, that is, you have given a urine sample for study
Yeah.
and you find the blood in the urine, that must be investigated fully, completely fully. There's no absolutely any indication that you should sit over it and this is nothing. You might get away. Probably this is that. These are all wrong approach to medicine.
Conception. Okay. So I came to know about lot of things, sir. I am going to get my father as early as possible for the health check, as sir has suggested. So I will not neglect anymore my parents, of course, and you all are. I am requesting you all, you also to not neglect your health. So, sir, thank you so much.
Thank you. It is a pleasure talking to you and to all of you. If you have benefited from this, thanks very much.
Thank you so much. So till then, I have to say goodbye to you all. Till then, be healthy, stay well, and if there is any issues related to your urology related issues, you can always contact us in our helpline number, which is 033 4090 4090. Till then, have a healthy life ahead. Thank you so much.